Barely old enough to rent a car, these 2025 billionaires are already running the world. They're not just young, they're billionaires redefining success before 30. From tech geniuses to crypto kings and queens, these prodigies are taking over 2025. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a story that'll blow your mind. 19-year-old Johannes von Baumbach, heir to Germany's Boehringer Ingelheim empire. He leads a new wave of ultra-wealthy heirs, including Clemente Del Vecchio, Kevin David Lehman, and rising fortunes from South Korea and Brazil. At just 19 years old, Johannes von Baumbach has quietly become one of the most powerful young billionaires on the planet. And the story behind his wealth is as exclusive as it gets. Johannes is a direct heir to the German pharmaceutical giant Boehringer Ingelheim, one of the largest and oldest family-owned pharmaceutical companies in the world. Valued at over $60 billion, Boehringer Ingelheim has shaped global healthcare for over a century. And now, a large portion of that legacy sits in Johannes's name. Surrounded by old European wealth, tradition, and discretion. No flashy social media, no paparazzi-laden appearances, just quiet, generational power. He's part of a family whose influence stretches across global medicine, from animal health to advanced biopharmaceuticals. But what makes his wealth so jaw-dropping isn't just the money, it's the scale of it. Johannes lives a lifestyle few can even imagine. Therefore, at 19, Johannes isn't just rich, he's the face of a new era of untouchable legacy wealth. And now, moving to the next young billionaire who's already living the life most people only dream of. Meet Clemente Del Vecchio, one of the youngest billionaires in the world, and heir to a vision empire that literally changed how the world sees. At just 20 years old, Clemente inherited a staggering fortune after the death of his father, Leonardo Del Vecchio, the legendary founder of EssilorLuxottica. Leonardo was one of Italy's richest men, with a net worth exceeding $30 billion. And Clemente is now a key heir to that empire. But Clemente's wealth isn't just about numbers, it's about lifestyle. He is believed to have access to ultra-private estates, luxury yachts, and elite European circles that most can't even name. His inheritance places him in control of assets that influence global fashion, tech, and luxury retail. Therefore, Clemente Del Vecchio isn't just rich. He's royalty in the world of high-end business. And then there's Kevin David Lehman, the billionaire next door you've probably never heard of. At just 22 years old, Kevin David Lehman has already cemented his name among the world's youngest and wealthiest billionaires. He inherited his massive fortune from his father, Günther Lehman, who had a stake in DM Drogerie Markt, Germany's largest drugstore chain, a retail empire with over 3,700 stores across Europe. But what makes Kevin's story even more fascinating is how completely under the radar he is. Unlike most heirs of billion-dollar fortunes, Kevin avoids all public appearances, maintains zero social media presence, and keeps his personal life entirely private. In fact, he was barely known to the public until his name suddenly appeared on Forbes' Billionaires list. His net worth has been estimated at over $2.5 billion, thanks to the company's immense success in the European retail and pharmaceutical market. Therefore, even without lifting a finger in the public eye, Kevin represents the power of silent wealth, influence without noise, luxury without limelight. He doesn't flaunt cars or mansions online, but make no mistake, Kevin David Lehman is living proof that some of the richest lives are the quietest. Livia Voigt, at just 19 years old, has become one of the youngest billionaires in the world and the richest young woman in Latin America. She inherited her wealth as a shareholder in WEG SA, a global leader in industrial electrical equipment, automation, and energy solutions, headquartered in Brazil. Kim Jong-un, daughter of the late Nexon founder Kim Jong-ju, became one of the world's youngest billionaires after inheriting a significant stake in NXC Corporation. the holding company behind Nexon, South Korea's gaming giant. Meet the billionaire heir born into aerospace royalty. Rémi Dassault, son of the late Olivier Dassault, is part of one of France's most powerful industrial families. After his father's untimely death in a helicopter crash in 2021, Rémi inherited a significant stake in the Dassault Group, a massive French conglomerate with deep roots in aerospace, defense, software, media, and real estate. The Dassault name is behind the iconic Rafale fighter jet and Falcon business aircraft. But unlike typical high-profile heirs, Rémi lives a life of strategic discretion. Rémi Dassault isn't just rich. He represents a living link to France's industrial and political legacy, carrying forward a name that shaped the nation's past and still commands its future. At 30 years old, Sophie Louise Fielmann is one of Germany's wealthiest young billionaires, inheriting her fortune from Fielmann AG, the country's largest and most iconic eyewear company. Founded by her father, Günther Fielmann, the brand revolutionized optical retail across Europe, becoming a household name with hundreds of stores and millions of customers. Following her father's retirement, Sophie inherited a significant share of the company, making her the largest individual shareholder. Her estimated net worth exceeds $1.5 billion, backed by a business that combines fashion, healthcare, and innovation. But despite her massive fortune, Sophie is rarely seen in public. She keeps a low profile, avoids social media, and quietly oversees her family's legacy while living a life of tasteful luxury. Think art collections, private estates, and strategic investments in tech and sustainability. Therefore, Sophie Louise Fielmann is not just a billionaire by inheritance, she's a new kind of businesswoman, modern, reserved, and remarkably powerful behind the scenes. In a world obsessed with flashy wealth, she remains proof that true influence often speaks the softest. And yet, her legacy is crystal clear, just like the lenses her empire is built on. From digital dynasties to aviation legacies and luxury eyewear empires, these young billionaires are redefining wealth, power, and privacy. They inherited more than money. They've inherited the future. And they're living lives most of us can only imagine. Which young billionaire's story shocked you the most? And who do you think will shape the world next? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world's youngest billionaires, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next one. Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with someone who dreams big, and let's keep the conversation going.